Cool, man. We live. So, John, this is our first interaction off the text. We always texting each other. John's on my text community. If you guys aren't on my text community, it's 510-288-2750. But yeah, man, it's good to meet you, man. You're over there in Indy, right?
Yeah, Indianapolis, Indiana. Been back here about 3 years. Was in Houston for about 20-something years. And
Wow.
so I really kind of miss Houston. It being a big city, and Indianapolis is much smaller than, of course, Houston. So been back here. Actually, this is home where family is at. So I'm sitting up like, okay, oh Lord, I'm really like, okay, should I go back to Houston? Because family is okay, but anyway, so, here in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Cool, man.
Yeah. So,
nice.
What part of California are you in?
I'm in the Bay Area, so San Francisco wise, I'm like a 20-minute drive from there. With traffic, it could be an hour 30.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, then, because I was trying to figure out, I said I know on Pacific time, but I wasn't quite sure where exactly you were at and stuff as far as, yeah.
Yep, up in Cali. Man, but tell me about yourself, John. I know you're in music, man, and what else? What else do you do?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Been in music for quite a number of years, and actually I play for a church, and actually, I'm a church musician, and I do some music on the side. I'm a very connoisseur of jazz. So I got some projects out on iTunes, and my last project was a tribute to John Coltrane's dance steps and stuff. So the other projects that I did are all original. I wrote and produced. And so again, I'm just kind of a connoisseur of, music, but especially jazz. And, I try to listen to all types because, again, it's just something to me in each genre that, to me just inspires me. And my thing is I just don't want to be limited in the language of music. Music is so vast, and it's just a language and stuff. So everybody, I guess, in the arts has something to say and an expression. And so listening to just different ones, especially the Drake album, and I think the reason why I like it is just certain things about it.
Yeah.
There's certain things in it, and there's certain changes that takes me and pulls me in different directions. And so even when I was listening to Doja Cat, and it's just different things about, the pop genre, and even going as far back as Michael Jackson. Yeah. And one Sunday, I'm going to tell you this, and like I said, I'm going to be quiet because I can talk. But there was one particular thing, wait a minute, it was one thing that he did, trying to remember the track, Can't Stop Till You Get Enough, okay? And,
the words on that is crazy.
For some reason and stuff, I listened to it, but something about the changes, and I said, wait a minute, I wonder if that would work here. And so I tried one particular thing, and not that I do it, but I try to integrate a lot of what they do and see if it'll work here and there and stuff, and I'm always just kind of doing that and stuff. So again, it was a dun 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 dun. So when that happened and stuff, I said, wait a moment, let me put that there in this one particular instance, and it kind of really worked and stuff. But I really like, I'll be a connoisseur of music. So anyway, let me stop talking. But
nice, man. So yeah, you definitely got a background in music. Everybody here on Instagram Live, we talking Drake's album. I got John on. Yeah, John's a connoisseur of music. One of the things you said about Drake's album is you said it brings you in a lot of different directions, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's one of the beauties about his music is that he has that jazz beat to it, he has a hip hop beat to it, he has R&B, he's got the hip hop flow to it, and he gives you a whole different a lot of different
Yeah.
styles, and I think that's why he has a variety of a fan base too, is because there's a little bit of everything for everybody, and I think that's so good work on the
Yeah.
producers end and also on Drake's end to be able to be flexible like that.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Very, very much because when you're looking at I guess particular tracks, and I guess there was this one particular track that it just pulled, and it was very pop, but at the same time looking at it, and it just sometimes as artists and as musicians and stuff, we especially in jazz and stuff, we kind of lose like the simplicity, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes genius is in simplicity, and the
Mm.
simplicity, you'll find just genius. So again, that's what kind of really pulled me. And then I was listening to, wait a moment, it was this one, I forget, I think it's Pappy or something, or Happy or whatever, that he had did. I'm sitting up here like, wait a moment, I'm hearing something with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
Nice, man. Nice, nice. Well, my overall, I mean, if I can give it an overall rating of the album, me personally, I'm a big Drake fan
Okay.
too. But
Okay.
maybe because I don't got the musical ear like you do. But I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7, man.
You give it a 7? You give it a
Yeah,
7? Okay.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Why you give it
Only
a
because,
7? I mean, I'm just kind of curious.
yeah, because
Cause I like pulling on people's ears.
yeah, yeah. So for me, I mean, Drake's put out tons of hits, tons good music over the years, right? And with this
Yeah.
album,
Uh
for
huh.
me, like it felt like I had to work too hard to listen to it. Like I was like, I have to go a second
Uh
round
huh.
to get to it. Instead of like his past stuff, it was like the first take. I was already grasped into it. I was like, oh,
Okay.
this is good. This is good stuff. But this one, like you got
Okay.
to take your time with it, right? That doesn't make it a bad album,
Okay.
but
Right.
it's an
Yeah.
album you really got to take your time with. It doesn't grasp you right away. I would even say it kind of felt lazy to me. I felt like he could have did a lot different. I think a lot of his
Yeah.
beats were sounding too much the same. A lot of the flow.
Yeah.
Um, but the lyrical content is good. But Drake, I mean, he's always been
Okay.
like this. But he's very like one level, right? He's like when he raps, it's that tone.
Uh huh.
It's not too high. He
Okay.
doesn't go way too low.
Okay.
But I think Drake can't stand alone on a R&B love song album alone. I always wanted to see him do
Okay.
that, but I don't think he has
Okay.
the talent wise for that because he doesn't have the range of
Okay.
singing like a R&B
Okay.
singer, I would say. So the whole album was soft and slow, and then I felt like he couldn't carry it. I feel like I wasn't
Right.
connected to it. Versus like an R&B singer, like you put The Weeknd on a slow R&B album the whole time. You put Michael Jackson, you put Usher, it's gonna carry, right? I don't think Drake can do that. I
Yeah.
think Drake needs those club hits, right? He needs that.
Right.
Like his songs, Start from the Bottom or 0 to 100 or what's the last song that came out? What's next? Like that song I was hitting. What's next? What's next? Let's see what's gonna happen. Like he needs those songs to be a club type song. I don't think he can do a standalone soft mellow
Right.
one that he did. And that's
Okay.
how I feel. That's what I feel.
Now you know what? I really kind of agree with you because I kind of noticed that on a lot of tracks and stuff, he's featuring a lot of people, and he's
Yeah.
featuring different ones that
Right.
is carrying exactly what you're saying. So I
Right.
kind of
Right.
noticed that. 'Cause I think the album is like 21 tracks. I think it's 21 tracks in total
Yeah.
and stuff. So I was sitting here, and I'm like thinking, wait a moment, okay. And I'm kind of noticing that what's kind of popping about those tracks, even though, like you're saying, it's kind of like the same vibe when you listen to
Mhm.
just some ones and after listening to it and stuff. But I'm noticing
Yeah.
that's what's kind of really popping is that it's who the feature is and it's who he
The
got, is who
feature.
he got. That's
Hmm.
featuring at time. I think I'm not really recalling it at the moment here. I think JC. I think some couple of different artists is there, but
Travis
I
Scott,
like to
Wayne,
hear
Ross.
what people really say about that and what you're saying, because again, a lot of times us as artists and musicians and stuff, we're sitting and we always look at it from a musical ear or from a musical perspective. But
Yeah.
at the same time, what I have discovered is some of the best ears have not been singers and musicians per se.
Right.
Some of the best ears. And
Right.
so sometimes I'll use people that do not, necessarily have musical background, but I say,
Yeah.
tell me what you think of this or whatever, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you for some reason and stuff, I'm like, okay, you know.
Huh.
But it's kind
Because
of interesting what you're saying, though.
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like you want to know what the fans are gonna say, right? The feedback from the audience, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of like when you're so
yeah,
close to the instrument and to the mic, you have a different emotional connection, but it's like, what are they gonna hear on the other end of it, right? Like
yeah,
that's what I can imagine. I mean, that's what I imagine. Like, I mean, I'm not a
yeah.
musician, but like whenever I write poetry or I'm making content, is always I always think about that. Like, all right, to me, this sounds cool, right? I like it because it's me. I'm putting it out on paper. I'm putting it out, but what is the other person gonna see? So, sometimes you shouldn't go all the way there, but
Yeah.
sometimes you got to have that in the back of your mind too. Like, what is the audience gonna get from
Gotcha.
this sound or this line? But I agree with you said with the features. Like the features shouldn't be the highlight necessarily of the album. It should be a part of it, but it shouldn't be it shouldn't be the main thing to carry the album. I think that did that for Drake on this album. But I will say this, Drake has
Okay.
earned the right. He has earned the right to have an album that doesn't pop off, because he already put in so much work, right? He earned it for us to be like, have an album where we really got to slow down, take our time with it. He earned it.
Okay.
If he was a
Gotcha.
new
Yeah.
artist, I feel like he could have kind of came out with this album. Like if this was a first album, man, I don't think it would have been great because it's Drake. It works, and we're gonna give him that pass. Like it works. I like it. We'll find a
Right.
reason. We'll
Right.
find that reason why we want to like it. Whether it's a verse, a line, the way it was produced. But I couldn't really find too much that was too crazy about it. So
Okay. Let me ask you, what track stuck out with you when you heard the album? What track kind of really stuck out with you? And I'm kind of asking it from a place of, okay, someone that, okay, even though you're saying you're not a musician, not doing that, but at the end of the day and stuff, I think that you're kind of the arts and what have you. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna be biased because I'm a big Lil Wayne fan. I went straight to the Wayne feature. Once I
Lil
saw it said
Wayne.
featuring Lil Wayne, I skipped everything. I think it's like, I don't know, third to last song I saw on the track list. I don't know where it was.
Wait a moment. Was it Girls Want Girls?
No, it's You Only
Was
Live
it
Twice.
Girls Want Girls? I don't know if that's the track. Huh?
No, it's called You Only Live Twice. It has Rick Ross on it. You only live twice.
You
Look at that
only
one.
live twice. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay then.
yeah.
Okay.
What's going on,
Okay.
Ginger the Bread
I'm
Man?
sitting like I'm like, okay, cause I'm not.
Yeah. So I went straight to
uh,
that track.
yeah. Only live
I'm a
twice.
Lil Wayne fan. Lil Wayne, you can always expect he's gonna bring
Okay
something to.
then.
So the beat was good. Rick Ross, he told a good story through there. About coming up, helping kids make money in the hood, things like that. And then you had Drake. Drake he's
Okay.
talking about his beef with Swiss Beats. I think Drake did that a lot too on this album. He got a lot off his chest. It felt like it was like, let me get this off my chest kind of album. And it was like a lot of breakup kind of stuff. But then Wayne did his thing, so I really like that track. The other track I like is Fair Trade, I think it's called. Yeah, Fair Trade, where he talks about trading his friends for peace. Like he got rid of some friends, now he has more peace. Fair Trade, that one was good. It has Travis Scott on it. Again, it's a feature. Has a feature on it. So he didn't carry that song by himself.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah, Travis Scott is good. He's a good artist.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so those two songs, and then like other songs, you really got to spend time with them. Like you got to sit down and be like, okay, what's the story he's telling? Let me not be doing nothing. That's how I felt the album got me. You got to be sitting down doing nothing. You can't be cruising, looking at the, it's not one of them albums, man, because you'll miss what he's saying. So, what about you? When you first went through the album, what stuck out?
Yeah.
Did you like?
Wait a minute. I didn't hear the last thing you said.
And I was saying, what songs did you like that stood out on the album?
Well, again, I'm listening from musician standpoint, and I'm trying to broaden it. But it was something about Pappy's Home. I think it's Pappy's Home. And the thing about it was some changes that reminded me of certain things that I kind of do musically. And so I'm sitting here like, wait a moment. I see where I pull that and use that. And of course, he was talking about, there was another song, I want to say Love All, and I think that's Jay-Z. I think that's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm sitting here like, okay, let me just really look and say, okay, let me not so much look at, because I'm thinking in terms of, where can I use that? Because I'm always looking for, I guess, as you say, content. So when I'm sitting here and I'm messing around on keys, I'm let me see what I can do or what changes or whatever, because I'm sitting here and, being in jazz, it's kind of no rules. It's rules, but it's no rules.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to stay within rules that make sense. And so with this album and stuff, I'm thinking it's kind of grounding me and pulling me like, stay within this rule but make it kind of seem like, and so when it got to, Pappy's Home and then Champagne Poetry and what have you, and I don't think these were the strongest of the tracks of what, it's my personal opinion. I don't think it was just the strongest of the tracks, because like you said and stuff, I think, his debut album, I think in 2000, whatever, You Can Thank Me Later or something. But the thing about it is just, I was looking at, but I don't think these was his strongest suits, but at the end of the day, he just knew how to compensate and knew what to do. And like you said, he has earned the right and stuff. But again, did listen to the Lil Wayne and then the Love All and then Fair Trade. I thought those were really great. I thought those were really really well produced and just really thought. But again, I'm trying to move away from, let me move away from my musician ear and think in terms of, where does this fit? What is really the overall picture, the overall, song? And there are some bits and stuff that just, at the end of the day, they pull you to a more round perspective.
Yeah.
At least in my case, some of them really do. But those particular tracks from a musical perspective stuff, because I'm sitting there like, and I'm like, wait a minute, I done heard that change. Yeah.
Man, see, that's interesting, because when you have that musical ear, I'm the same way. Like I'll still go in, like I'll try to cut myself in half. This half is gonna listen to the right away, what pops out to me. The second half is gonna be, let me musically dissect it. What horns is going on in the back, the piano, the beat switch up, the drums, the 808s, all that. Like I want to hear all that, right? I want to hear the ad libs, all that. Like what are they saying when this verse comes up? When the chorus comes on, how does the beat change? I love all that. I like really listen to that. What song was that? Man, what song? Shoot. I can't even get it. 0 to 100 is a perfect example, right? I keep saying that song, but 0 to 100 is a perfect example where it's a whole different beat. in the beginning. Second half, it's a different flow. It's
Yeah.
a different slow down, right? Yeah, I like that. I like that. But when you
Mm-hmm.
like again, I'm like you the same way
Okay.
where I'll go in my musical ear because I like classic rock, I like jazz, and everything has something to offer.
Okay.
Everything, right? And you know this from music, like
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
every genre has something to offer. You
Mm.
can learn from it, and that's pretty cool. So
Yes.
going in, like I should do that. I should go in back into
Can
the
I
album and
ask you
then
something?
yeah. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Wait a moment. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. What were you saying?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to ask you and stuff. It seemed like, because you just said in there a few seconds ago, and it's kind of like, most people and stuff, they like to hear an eclectic of styles within a track. And it
Uh-huh.
seems like you're that kind of person to where it like you're okay, the song can take a turn
Miranda.
or take a different vibe within the track and stuff. So I said to
Yeah.
myself, I said, it's got to go that. Wait a moment, I done met somebody very eclectic that wants to. Okay, let's veer this direction or let's switch this up within the track. Wow.
Yeah.
Because some artists and stuff they're staying within the context of how it starts, and it's just very much and not that
Yeah.
anything is wrong with it, but on
Yeah.
the other hand and stuff, it kind of gets boring because I think music is a journey, and I think it's a journey of color. I think
Yeah.
it's a journey of rhythm,
Good
a
way to put
journey
it.
of
Yeah.
just how, where we're going and stuff. And so at the end of the day and stuff is what we do with those colors. It's like crayons. Wait a moment. I think, was it you or was it somebody that had made a post or we were texting and we were talking about, going to Waffle
Miranda, let
House
me
or
know
going
about Drake's
somewhere,
album.
and here it is, they're giving us three colors.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
So
talk
yeah.
about the restaurant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How they only give
Yeah.
kids like 3 quarters of coke. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What up, Chris? Let me know about Drake's album, man. If you listen to it, let me know. Or Drake in general. But yeah, man. Like I like when music does that. Perfect example. The goat right here. Got the goat, MJ. Billie Jean, man. I think is probably
Yeah.
one of the greatest songs ever made. There's so much going on in that song. The way it changes the
Yeah.
opening, do 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 do, and the do. And if you really listen, you can hear the guitars going like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
You hear the bass, you hear the horns. I love just if you took just if you just listen to the instrumental, it's a great track.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's a journey. And then when you get to the chorus, you hear the piano
Yes.
dun, right, it's rising, dun, and it drops back down, dun, 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 right.
Yeah.
Man, it's amazing. It's in fact that song was so complicated. Michael didn't want to play it during the Victory tour because it was so complicated to make live at first because it was so much. He's like, dude, I don't know how to put this all together to make it sound, like authentic at the concert, man. That's how much that song had all these waves and dips to it. So
Yeah.
you really got to know what you're doing when you do switch up tracks and
Yeah.
go because you
I
can,
tell you, I really right. Those, let me tell you, that album, I just think that at the end of the day and stuff, and I'm like you because again, I listened to that album and I refer back to it as a textbook. That's a textbook to me because of
yeah,
production, what Quincy Jones did. I think it was just
yeah,
very well produced. I think it was just a match made in heaven.
yeah.
And one of the
I got the
first
album
songs
right
that
there.
I learned from that album was Human
Yeah.
Nature. Oh, there you
Man.
go.
Yeah, there it is right there.
I learned Human Nature, and I studied that song for about a year because I
Really?
wanted to really play that song. I wanted to really play that particular song because I thought, the way it was going. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting here like, okay, let me see, because again, I know that, in studios, there's a whole lot of arpeggiating tools that they do.
Yeah.
So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 6 months to a year, and I'm gonna study that particular song. You know, the whole album, Thriller. You know, like Billie Jean, and just, I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. And I said, wow, this is really a textbook. And a lot of people from musician standpoint, they'll say, oh, well, it's pop and simple, but it's not simple.
It's not.
In the sense, if you really break down and stuff, because there's so much that's going on, especially on the Thriller track.
Thriller, man, is crazy.
So, yeah, but when I got to the Human Nature track, I'm sitting up here like, oh my God, this is really difficult. But that was really a match made in heaven, and I say that at the end of the day, you know, the scripture says, and I'm not preaching anything, but all good gifts come from God and come, you know, from Him above. But I said, wow, that came from somewhere that was just not really, that we've not heard before, and it's evident because you see what it did sales wise. You see what it did. I mean, I'm sitting up here like, wow. But Human Nature,
dude, how many times has that song been remixed?
This song. It took me about a year.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
You kind of broke up a little bit.
No, I said, how many times has Human Nature been remixed?
Okay, hello. Are they?
Oh
my God! Oh my God!
Yeah.
That has been remixed. I mean, until it's like, but it's duplicated. It's often imitated, but really never really duplicated in the sense of where the origination or whatever came. And I say to myself, and the remix is not that anything is wrong with them now, because I think they're just, you know, dope. Yeah. But I look at it and I say, wow, but when you hear the original, I'm like, oh my God, it's just something about that original that will yet pull you. And the remix and stuff, it'll do what it's gonna do, but the remix will the original will yet pull you. The album I had downloaded, there was another one that he did, Michael Jackson, Rock With You.
Oh yeah. From
Off the Wall. Yes. Off the Wall. And I'm here like, oh my God. But with his music and stuff, it just pulled me to a more rounded perspective, you know, whereas with Drake here, I'm trying to like, okay, let me see where but I'm listening now from a musician standpoint, whereas I'm listening as, okay, with other ones, I'm here like, okay, a much broader ear, you know, not so much musician and stuff. So again, when I saw the Michael Jackson, because I saw Michael Jackson before on different videos or that you had or different podcasts or whatever, and I said, Michael Jackson. I mean, that's literally, he's literally a textbook that I refer back to, a point of reference pretty much all the time. There's another one. Wait a moment. There's another track that's on the top of my on the top of my tongue. And the guitar is just, the guitar is out of this,
Is it PYT?
Wait a moment. What is that song? No, it's
Dirty
not
Diana?
PYT, but it's no, it's not Dirty Diana. It's, let me see. What is that song? Oh my goodness, I'll think of it anyway. But he's just really an overall textbook.
Is it Beat It?
And then of course, you know, I like. No, it's not Beat It, but it's a guitar riff. I mean, it's
Working Day and Night. Working Day and Night.
Wait a moment. Okay, is that it? Okay then.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I'm sitting there like, oh God, it's gonna. Oh Lord, I'm gonna be stopped. It's gonna bother me that I'm not, But anyway, and then of course, But let me ask you something. What's your thoughts
Yeah.
on Prince?
Prince. Prince,
What's
man.
your thoughts on Prince?
Prince. So I'll be honest. Like I don't
I
know
know
every.
we're
I
talking
can't.
about Drake, but it's like.
No, no. Let's talk about everything. It's music. It's music. So Prince. I don't know any of his songs word for word. I don't. But like I'll listen to him sometimes when I'm in my sessions, and he's
Okay.
very creative, man. Like, good
Okay.
songwriting, different
Okay.
styles. Like a lot of the early
Okay.
stuff you can hear influence today. Um, and from
Yeah.
what I heard, he was writing this
Yeah.
music like
Yeah.
every day. He was writing songs for people, secret writing for people I didn't even know that we know of today.
Yeah.
And he was a big influence, musical influence, super talented. Sing, play instruments,
Yeah.
dance. What
Wow.
was something I heard recently? Oh, there was a not. I mean, this might be a big deal, but there was a song he did where Prince was cussing in his song, and I was like that had to be different for that time. It was like in the 80s, like because singers don't cuss, and Prince said a
Yeah.
cuss word. I was like, I wonder how
Right.
much,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Like I wonder like what did people say during that era? Because all the singers cuss now. They all be singing and cussing. But I was like, for Prince to do that, like that was like a different kind of swag to be like, I'm a singer, I'm Prince, and I'm gonna cuss on this track. Like I thought I was listening to, I forgot what song it was, man. So you know which one I'm talking about? I forget what song it is.
I am. I'm trying to think because the things that stuck out with me was the tracks that stick out with me about his music was, of course, Raspberry Beret. Um, wait a moment. What's the other one that he did? There was another one, 1999. I mean that.
It's a good song. Yeah.
Um, Let me see. Then there was another one, Purple Rain, of course.
Purple Rain.
Um,
Doves Cry.
but I know the one you're talking about because again, it's like that was just taboo in our house. As far as that music, secular music, I had to slip music like that in the house.
Man. See,
And
that's interesting.
but because yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I think I know which one you were talking about because again I said this one got cussing and I'm sitting there like, wow, if my mom knew that I would listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, they would just they would have an exorcism service, you know.
Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. But
yeah,
man, John,
but
we've been talking about all these artists. Tell me about your music, man. Like, so when you're writing jazz, what's the process? How's that come about? Is it always, do you like to pull originally from your idea? Do you like to like look at other past jazz artists and then get an idea, or is it like it's always a mixture of things? How's your songwriting process work?
At the end of the day, I sit down at the piano, and what's
Yeah.
happening is I had did Seasons, which was my first original track back in 2012,
Uh.
and I was over a friend's house.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't know nothing about recording, didn't know nothing about Pro Tools, nothing about Logic, Apple Logic or anything and stuff. And so he was teaching me. So actually, as time went on and stuff, I'm sitting up here like, wow, I'm hearing this and hearing that. And so I sat down at the piano and I said, well, let me see this. And for some reason or what have you and stuff, I could hear the whole thing from start to finish.
Mm.
I could hear the whole thing from start to finish. And I'm
Mm.
sitting up here like it was almost like writing a story. And
Uh.
that's how I always looked at music and just looked at different genres, whether it be pop, whatever. I'm looking to see, is this a complete story? Is this a complete story? Where is this taking me? Where is it starting?
Yeah.
And where does it end? And so
Yeah.
when I sit down and write, I'm sitting like, okay, let me create this story. And let me create this to where it makes sense, but at the same time, it takes the listener on a journey.
Mm.
So I sit down, and so that track is about 8 minutes long and stuff. So I had somebody tell me, a listener, and I took their advice. They were not even musical or whatever, or not really, what have you. But they said, well, a lot of times, you keep a track within 3 to 4 minutes. And I
Yeah.
took that advice because, again, the ear can only process so much.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And so again, when I did Seasons Interlude, when I did, especially, I think Odyssey was the best track that I did because I think the production was better quality. I think the processes of exploring different ideas because pretty much I'm hearing all kinds of crazy chords and I'm hearing all kinds of different artists in my head um, and I'm pulling from so many veins that I've listened to over time to where I'm like, okay, and so it's just like this collection in my head to where I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let me see, I don't like that particular season. So it's like cooking, and so
Yeah.
you just got a bunch of seasonings that's in the cabinet, and so you're just seasoning it, but you're trying to
What's up,
really be
Zelia?
disciplined. So whenever
You listen to
and
Drake?
so literally at the end of the day, like with Drake, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, there's a particular season in this particular album that I'm like, okay, let me see where I can really go with this. And so, and I'm pulling some stuff, even as I've been listening to his project, I'm listening and I'm sitting up here like, wait a minute, I know where I can use that. So I'm putting that on the shelf. So I put everything on the shelf and put
Uh-huh.
everything in a collection. And so when I come back to it and stuff, then I'm like, okay, it's time for that. So that's kind of how I kind of like my thought process is with that, as far as writing and doing stuff. But I like a lot of ballads. I like a lot of
Nice.
eclectic changes and a lot of journeys, a lot of twists and a lot of turns and a lot of different
Yeah.
and just interesting chords to where I'm setting you like very subtle things in the music that just kill. I mean, just kind of like slow death almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's kind of my thought process. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. One more question. One more
Mhm.
question before I gotta get off and get to my next session, man. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
what's some of the instruments that you also play, and what why do you write music?
Um. Um. I think music is a beautiful language. I guess
Yeah.
I'll go backwards and answer the second question and then come back to the first question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think music is a beautiful language, and I think it's beautiful when one knows how to express it, when
Uh-huh.
one knows how to interpret it, when one knows. But because even in the English language and stuff, if verbs and pronouns and all this other stuff, if not,
Yeah.
really used properly, then you just can't make sense. Really can't make
Yeah.
sense. My thing in doing it is let me inspire.
Mm.
Who will be inspired by this journey?
What up,
Where
bro?
will this lift somebody from despair to hope and stuff? So
Mm.
again, that's what I'm really my objective in all of this is where will this take somebody? Will this take somebody somewhere? Where does it
Yeah.
take me? So again, that's how I
Yeah.
look at it. Now, as far as church, and now I play organ at church.
Mm.
So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking totally gospel, and I'm thinking totally church. And, and with, in times and stuff, very church driven and all this other stuff. But my main instrument is just really literally, piano and just literally being free. And I think,
Yeah.
with that, it just has a certain freedom. The instruments, I sit and I listen a lot to even bass players. just
Marco
not
says hi to
piano,
you.
but I listen to different artists like bass players, guitar players, and listen to their approach on that instrument. So when I get ready to interpret a line or interpret something, then I know I have a concept. So I'm
Yeah.
listening to Jeff Berlin, to the bass player Stanley Clark, Victor Wooten, and different ones that are just, really very versatile, even drummers. Different ones that are sitting here and they're just killing you. But at the same time, I'm listening for concepts that I can pull from the different instruments where I can, so when I'm creating or writing music, then I have a concept of where the instrumentation at, and then is more instrumentation or is it less instrumentation? So again, that's kind of, if that answers it, if that answers the questions there. But my main thing is to literally, where does this take the person that's listening? What does it do? And where does it inspire? And so at the end of the day, I listen to, even some rap, and I'm sitting here like, okay, where is this taking me? What's in this that it can inspire? And I wrote this one rap track. I'm coming out with something pretty soon, and it's kind of like not your jazz, but it's a rap track. It's got a little rap beat and all this other stuff. So I'm like, so I don't know how people is gonna receive it. But
Nice.
I just look at it that it's, yeah. So that's pretty
good,
much,
man.
where I'm at with that.
John, I love it,
And then
man.
of course, I try to exercise and try to, get workout,
Yeah. Yeah, man. John, I appreciate you, man, looking at all my fitness content. Can you hear
Hello?
me? Yeah, man. I appreciate you looking at my fitness content, and I hope you do get value from it, man. I'm always putting out something. But
Yeah.
I gotta run, man. I got my session coming up in like 8 minutes. I gotta get down over.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
great session.
Thanks,
I
John. This was
really
fun.
enjoyed the I enjoyed the conversation.
Me too, man. Me too. We'll do it again for sure. We'll do it again.
Okay, then, for sure. Okay.
All right, John.
Okay. Okay.